Well, good evening and welcome, Beverly. It's lovely to have you on a podcast with us this evening. How are you doing?
Yes, good. It's great to reconnect and see your lovely face again and get to chat and catch up. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's a pleasure. And we're joined by Sean this time as well. So hi, Sean.
Hello,
Hi, Sean.
everyone. Welcome to Trisomy Awareness Month 2022. Hopefully going to be an exciting month and lots of news and bits happening from across the sea and from over here in the UK as well.
Yes.
Yeah. We look forward to hearing what you've been up to. So, first of all, let's start. How is Verity?
Verity is doing amazing. And actually, it's such fun timing. Her birthday is February 28th. So right as we head into Trisomy Awareness Month, she is actually hitting a really big milestone. She's going to be 5 years old. And it's just kind of surreal to think of how far she's come. But she is just doing so great. We're in a really good place with her. She's so happy and just giggling and smiling spontaneously and really interacting a lot more with the people around her. It's been fun to see.
Amazing. That's so lovely. Such lovely news to start the podcast off with. So thank you for the update.
Yes.
Yeah, she's really defied the odds, hasn't she?
She has. She really has.
Amazing. Yeah, and Beverly, we wanted to find out how's your book launch gone? I mean, what's happening, that side with your beautiful book that you put out?
Yes, thank you. So I think last time we talked, we were on the verge of getting it out. And so it is out. It's on Amazon and all their markets. So we've had some orders from Australia and from Europe, and very exciting. I have to confess, I love writing and the behind the scenes and supporting people, but I'm just not great at marketing. I want to kind of throw it out there to the world and say, here world, take it and do what you will with it. But so one of the really wonderful things that we've been able to do is provide it free of charge for those who are in our Verity's Village community, and that is worldwide. I actually just sent a welcome packet to a lady in Ireland who is expecting a child with trisomy 18, and she had no idea there was any kind of support. And so we are working to make sure she is aware of you guys and making those connections. I mean, it's local in quotation marks, but you know what I mean. You're closer than we are. But of course, she reached out, and I was so happy to say I can offer you this book and our pregnancy journal. So that has been a really neat addition to our offerings in Verity's Village, and just to be able to send those out. I have not tracked our numbers, but since we were able to bulk order those and have those here in the home office, my office, we can say, welcome to our community, and would you like this resource? And if so, send us your mailing address and we send that out. So that has been really just a lovely gift, and something I know would have helped me 5-6 years ago when we were going through that journey. So some others have gone the opposite way, where they somehow find the book just either searching on Amazon or searching, they order the book and then they find out, oh, there's this community, so then they come in that way too. So it has been really neat to see some doors opening as far as parents feeling a little bit more empowered and seeing that they're not alone. There are resources and communities available where they can feel connected. And it's so hard to feel that you're alone on a journey like this. And so that's been a really, really neat thing.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, from a personal point of view, I think finding out that we weren't the only ones going through this made all the difference. It really is a comfort to know there's other people out there going through similar experiences. And because when you first hear about these conditions, it's like, you're learning about it for the first time, and the statistics make you feel so lonely.
Right.
Yeah. I can imagine how it's been a comfort to people.
Thank you. I hope it has. We have had some good feedback.
With that welcome pack as well, I love the fact that it gives a little bit of structure to something that is so loose and so unknowing. And one thing that we always find when we're talking to new and expectant parents is that they just have no idea what to expect next. And it's this whole roller coaster, but having a look at your welcome pack and the journal and everything that's there, it really just helps them to maybe take a bit of control over that journey and document the different stages. And it, when I say structured, it's not like you must stick to these steps, but it gives such a nice way to give back some control to such an uncontrollable situation.
Yes, just to find those areas that you can have some kind of control. It's a bit of a coping mechanism perhaps, but so practical. And so just helping someone think through in a logical way, because you shift, you go into that emotional mode and survival mode, and you can't make decisions when you're overwhelmed. It's almost impossible. You just, I remember thinking, if somebody could just come and tell me what to do and when to do it, that would be so helpful. And like you said, it's different for every family for sure. But knowing that, okay, I'm not alone in asking these questions, or maybe this would be a way I could be a little bit proactive as we get closer to the due date, then it really changes. It empowers you, and you feel, okay, I can advocate for myself and for my baby and for our experience, what that can look like. We can have a measure of input and control to an extent, you know, over those things.
Yeah, amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's so incredible. So when you look at, obviously, from two different countries, the similarities of that journey and the steps, and even though maybe the medical care can be different, there are so many stages of that journey, looking through it and going, actually, that matches up with the experience that so many of our families have, and vice versa as well. As you go through it, it's incredible. So it's beautiful work.
There are some universal experiences and emotions surrounding this kind of a crisis, I think, for sure. And you're right. We've sent packages. I think we're up to 9 different countries now, and it doesn't matter where you are in the world, just very similar human emotions, and it does help to feel connected for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I think it's maybe one of the blessings of the pandemic is the world suddenly became a smaller place.
Yes.
And just because somebody's across the seas or in a different time zone or country, actually, that care and the community has grown so much, and borders have maybe been torn down. I know from our experience, we've definitely seen that, where we're seeing more and more people come from different countries to get support and join our community. And by the sounds of it, you're experiencing something very similar.
Yes, absolutely. You're right. One good thing to come out of it all.
Got to be something good that comes out.
Yeah, we got to hold on to the good, right?
Yeah. And how are things progressing with Verity's Village? What's been going on there?
Yes, it's kind of amazing to think that we finished our first full year as a nonprofit organization. Our support group has over 200 members now. We had 119 babies born in our network just in 2021.
Amazing.
Wow, that's incredible.
I would say the majority had some kind of a rare trisomy, but there were some other diagnoses as well. So Verity's Village is, you know, any kind of a prenatal diagnosis, but of course, because of the circles we're in, we do find a lot of trisomy 18, 13. We had some of the other really rare trisomies represented as well. But again, doesn't matter what that genetic condition is. When we're ministering to families, that these universal experiences really come out. So the group has grown. Something I'm excited about is some things that we hope to offer as part of our network, our community as we grow. We've had financial supporters that have come alongside us, which have helped us to provide those packets free of charge. It's so great to be able to say, hey, we have this resource. We're not asking for money. We want to give this to you. It's been covered by other people. We're looking to hire a part-time help with social media, because that's not my forte. Like I said, I'm not a great marketer. I love to advocate. I love to write and do the communicating aspect, but all the technical things that need to happen, I'm really slow at it. And so we're
Doesn't help that social media is ever evolving either.
Yes. And you know how important it is to get your message out there and to let people know you exist and that you're here to help. That's such a big piece of the awareness equation. So we are looking to get a little bit of part-time help there. And then a big thing on our horizon is as our first official fundraiser. We've had a few people do, Facebook birthday fundraisers, but we are going to do a virtual run. And actually, we have a soft launch of our registration. It's available now. veritysvillage.com has, you have to scroll to find it. I need to do some tweaking on the website. That's not my forte either. but people could register, and then with that, they get a t-shirt, and hopefully, the idea is that then they will have a team to help fundraise so that we can continue to expand and broaden and deepen our support that we can offer to families too. So,
and when is that event taking place, Beverly?
Oh yeah, great question. we at first I'd hoped that we would have it coincide with Trisomy Awareness Month, but the website and a lot of behind the scenes stuff, we decided, okay, let's give ourselves some more time. So we're doing it in mid-May, May 13th through 15th. But our hope is that, especially for our trisomy families, that they can use the month of March as a way to share their story and encourage their circles to register and consider donating, even if they don't want to run or walk or bike or swim or whatever, whatever they want to do. So so we've got a few months, and really excited to see how it comes together. I think fundraising is, of course, a goal. It takes funds to do this kind of thing, but beyond that, we're so excited to just change that narrative around this whole situation and really help bring the awareness to the public space, to help people think about how this is not the end of the world, that actually some really beautiful and good things can come out of this journey.
Breaking that taboo of not compatible with life, I suppose, as a headline,
right?
There's more to these conditions than that very outdated strapline.
Exactly. Yes.
Good luck with all the fundraiser and getting that set up. It's
Thank
be a bit
you.
of a pain behind the scenes and doing all the tinkering, but I'm sure you'll get the payoff in the end. And I think that's a great thing, is seeing that community get behind you and seeing all the little things that crop up. And we've got one kicking off in March for Trisomy Awareness Month, and I absolutely love seeing it when people set up these new fundraisers and you look at, I had never thought of that. We had one at the beginning of the year where a group did a gaming live stream throughout the month of January, and it was incredible, because I've always been quite an avid gamer, but then you also doing that to the charity space, and it all got signed up, and it was on Just Giving, and Kate emailed me going, what's happening here?
I don't know what this is.
Is this something I just don't understand? And they did so
creative.
Well.
Absolutely.
And it just shows whatever your passion is, you can bring that across to do some good and to really try a change.
Oh, I love it. So creative.
And there was such enthusiasm and passion behind it. It was fabulous to see. And like Sean says, not everyone has to be a runner to be able to fundraise.
Right.
They get more creative than that. I must say, for me, what I love about the fundraising is reading the stories. And it's not always the parents who are fundraising. Sometimes it's a sister, or it's a godmother, or whatever it may be. And reading how important the cause is to these people is really lovely, and the lengths they'll go to honor these babies and raise some funds to help other people, which is really, really lovely.
Right. I agree. I love that connection. And it's almost better, isn't it, when it comes from those other sources. We've seen some beautiful things happen with coworkers, honoring their coworkers, child who passed, or that experience, and just it really touched their hearts, and the parents were just so amazed that these weren't necessarily their best friends. They're just people that had a working relationship with them, and yet their lives were touched by this journey as well. Such a beautiful thing.
Yeah, for sure. And do you have any specific plans for Trisomy Awareness Month? How will Verity's Village be celebrating?
Yes, we hopefully we can use her birthday, Verity's birthday herself to kind of kick off the month. And it will be in conjunction with raising awareness about our fundraiser. But I didn't want that to be the whole focus. And that's another reason I was really actually excited that we changed the date for ours to go back to May, because I didn't necessarily want to take away from what this month is as far as educating the community. And also there are a lot of fundraisers. You probably know, a lot of individual families will raise money for, their local hospital or something like that. So I know there is a lot going on. We have decided we really just would like to bring the awareness to different conditions that Verity's Village serves. And of course that, the rare trisomies we will highlight in March, especially, but more stories, just stories, like you said, the families that we've served, the posts that Verity's Village shares that get the most attention are the posts about the babies, those beautiful photos and those precious words and memories that moms and dads are sharing about their experience. And those get passed around, and it just gives me chills to think of how many eyeballs have read those stories and have entered into the emotion represented in that, brief paragraph. There's only so much you can say. And yet I think it's changing hearts and minds in a way that is so powerful that we couldn't necessarily set out with a specific social media agenda to do. But so the stories, I just keep going back to our community and saying, hey, let us know if you would like to if we can feature your baby and your story wherever you are in this journey, whatever it is. And I let them speak their words and put that on there. And it's powerful, and a lot of times it's healing because the parents see the impact that their journey is having on others.
Yeah, it's a lovely feeling. We certainly have noticed the same trend. Posts and social media campaigns about families and children, they most certainly outperform any other post that we could ever do. And like you say, it serves both the community and the person writing the post or sharing, their story in whichever medium, whether it's podcast or written. It's quite cathartic to share your story sometimes as well.
Sure, yes.
So it's a nice thing to be able to facilitate.
Yeah, I love following your posts because I love getting the ideas for us in our little community. And I've been excited. You just have done such a great job. You just seem so organized, and I love what you're putting out there. I just really feel like you are in that space, meeting the parents right where they're at different stages of their journey and providing events, connection points for them. So I have to ask you, what are you planning for Soft UK for our special month of awareness coming up?
Well, thank you first for that lovely compliment. It's nice to hear that things are being well received. It shows that we're doing the right thing then, if it's landing well.
Yes, for sure.
Thank goodness, hey Sean.
We can keep our jobs.
Oh my goodness, you're not allowed to quit. No, absolutely.
Yeah, so for Trisomy Awareness Month, we will be sharing a series of podcasts, this obviously being an important one of them. So we will be chatting to some of our trustees and finding out how they came to SOFT. And, some will be trustees that haven't been with SOFT for long, and some have seen SOFT over many years and seen how it's changed and evolved over time. So Sean and I will be doing a chat about what our roles are around, and we'll be speaking to a few different volunteers and support teams to find out how they're involved in SOFT and what they do. So just a bit of a behind the scenes look at
I love it. That's a great idea.
Who are the people behind SOFT, essentially? So that's one of the things.
Got a number of family calls as well. I think probably the most family calls that we'll have ever hosted in a single month. So it's scheduled throughout, and this just seems to be something that's growing and growing and growing. So last year when I came on board, we were doing one call a month for expectant families, and that has now grown to to cater to so many different groups of people, because like I said, it's just almost like never ending, the amount of people that you can support and the amount of people that these individual experiences and stories will touch is just, it grows astronomically. So we're launching a number of things there, and we'll also be doing, I suppose, almost like a retrospective recap on the last 12 months, because I think sometimes we fail to stop and take a breath, really reflect on what we've actually done. So this past 12 months, we've launched, I think, 4 series of podcasts now. I think we're on to series number 4, moving on to 5. We've done some incredible work for NHS Digital. We've launched an absolutely beautiful exhibition with Same But Different called You're Not Alone. There've just been so many different bits that have been launching and going off everywhere, and I just think actually it's quite nice to take a step back and look at all of that work that's been done by the community. And, you know, ultimately we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for our incredible community and the support that they have offered and the stories that they've shared. So just taking a moment to breathe and look at that and really appreciate everything that's been done by the community and by volunteers and team at Soft.
It's worth celebrating, isn't it? We've come a long ways.
Yeah, it's been interesting to see the explosion of interest in Facebook support groups as well. And we've noticed quite a shift into people, you know, quite keen to join these various different groups that we've tailored for. So, you know, as Sean said, we not only have new support calls for grandparents, for example, and we've got a Facebook group catered to them now as well, and a dad's group, and
that's so great.
Bereaved parents. So we're really trying to tap into who are the groups that we support, whether it's via calls or podcast series or you know, Facebook support groups. So yeah, we're really trying to listen to what the community is saying and sort of pick up on conversations happening in various groups and try and cater for that. Like Sean says, we've got 4 podcast series under our belt, and already the ideas for the 5th series. So you'll have to keep an eye out and an ear out for the next series coming. We're quite excited about that as well. Yes.
Oh, good. Good. That's such a lot of things that have happened just in the last year. It's really exciting.
Absolutely. So I think exciting for Soft, and also for you as well, the stuff that you've been doing and those milestones that you've been hitting. It's just absolutely incredible to see, and it's so nice being able to see the charities and work that's being based around something that everybody believes is such a niche thing or an impossibility.
Right.
You know, these 2 organizations are growing, and it's absolutely beautiful to see that community growing along with it. It
is. It really is. We've even started to see some of the parents in our group are going on to launch their own efforts, whatever it may be. Some are local, some are thinking really big. And I just sit back and support and say, hey, you know, I'm here if you want a sounding board, but it is, there's something to be said for those local, you know, small starting efforts that are just, you know, just so full of love and passion from their experience, but also continuing to network with these larger organizations like Soft over there, Soft over here. Like that's kind of the hub, I guess, that pulls us together in this bigger community. But then I just love seeing how individual towns and cities are being touched as well, just by one family experiencing something that to them totally shook their world up, you know?
And only good stuff can come from more and more people, you know, making these efforts and starting things and reaching out to communities. So the more the merrier, isn't it? It's not a form of competition.
Oh my goodness. No.
All good for all of us, really.
The better, because it's an area of great need for sure. And the more people who can feel supported, absolutely. I don't feel there's room for competition in this space. We just have too great of a need.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, one of the interesting things we've seen with our community is how people have attended support calls and gone on to make real life friendships beyond the calls, which has been so lovely to see people in text contact with each other and, you know, asking after each other, you know, beyond the calls, which is so lovely. So yeah, we're trying to facilitate something as well to have a sort of catch up session or call with people who've been together on previous support calls. So it's really lovely that these, you know, real life relationships are are formed.
Yes,
which is
I
special.
love that too. Our community, right? I've hoped that somebody would come alongside me as kind of a co-laborer in the direct ministry to the parents, and so far it's just me. It just that's just the way it's been. We've talked with some possible relationships, and it just hasn't been the right timing. And as I mentioned, our group is now over 200 people, and I try to get in inboxes and message people, but that's what you are saying is exactly what I have seen in that from diagnosis to delivery support group. It's moms and dads that are reaching back and saying, hey, we're in the NICU now, and we were expecting, and these are questions that we had too. So let me answer this because I see a question that now I can answer. And now that we've been up and running for, I guess we're going on 15 months for that group that started just a handful of people. That's the beauty is those moms that are, I lost my little one 3 months ago. Please message me. I'd love to chat. And then you start seeing that they're Facebook friends and they're commenting on each other's posts, and they've built these beautiful, sometimes in person, but a lot of times they're just so far apart, but more than just a support group connection. It gets more to the personal level. And that has helped me when I feel overwhelmed, like there's one of me and so many of them, and I really want to offer more in-depth support. I just have to tell myself, you know what, this is not about me. I'm not the be all end all. That's not the goal because I'm going to go on someday. I want this to last, and this community that we're building, I know in time there will be moms that are ready to step up and volunteer and give more, or be more of a part of the support or staff, if you will. But right now, just seeing these organic relationships blossom is just the best thing ever.
Yeah, it's very rewarding.
Yeah, we see so much of that, and I think you hit the nail on the head there, that you can almost take a step back sometimes and watch the community jump in to support somebody else, and we'll see, and you expect the parent will come through and they'll start asking questions in the group, and I think that can be really intimidating sometimes.
Sure.
But the lengths that people go to share their story, to then help maybe put the person at ease and to really connect is absolutely incredible. And yeah, just seeing those friendships form and some of that advice and everything get offered over time, it's beautiful to see, and it really is rewarding watching that happen.
It is. And that's what connected me in the first place was, cautiously feeling out the waters, putting out the post of, okay, we have this diagnosis and I don't know what's coming. And now the moms and dads just jumping in, sharing the pictures, sharing the stories, and all of a sudden turning my perspective 180 degrees. That I came in thinking, okay, I'm going to get support for, bracing myself that Verity's not going to make it. And then well, maybe she will. I mean, that I didn't know there were children living with this condition before we found the soft support groups. And it really was a perspective shift. I needed it.
We've heard that a few times actually. There's one picture painted by medical professionals sometimes, and then there's a whole other reality out there. It's really interesting. It's again a global experience, I suppose. Well, Beverly, it's been really lovely talking to you this evening. So
likewise.
Yeah, thank you for the updates and for sharing all that's going on your side of the world. And we'll definitely stay in touch and keep abreast of each other's developments.
Yes.
And we wish you all the best for your fundraiser in May.
Thank you.
So thanks again for coming on.
Of course. Thank you for having me, and happy Trisomy Awareness Month.
Absolutely.
You as well. And anybody who's watching today, if you want to share your story with Beverly, let us know and we'll put you in contact, and we'll have all the details have been linked in the description, because like I said, stories mean the world, and they really do help that reach and to show off to the community that there is more to this. So if you want to share your story, you might have already shared it with us, but we're happy to pass that on as well.